Hello, welcome back. This is Maurice Dimba, and we have the purlins in place. The cladding rails in place that we had created in the previous presentation. And what we are going to do next is connecting the cladding rails to the columns, both on the gable side and along the length of this particular structure. Let me first of all just walk you through on how this structure looks. If you take a look here, you can see we have the couplets here, we have the connections here on the tie beams. You can see that. So this connection of tie beams have been created in a way that it doesn't inconvenience the connection on the other side of this on the other side of another tie beam. So you can see that. Perfect. So our main objective today is just to create connection, to connect the cladding rails to the columns. So we'll look for the appropriate tool or the appropriate macro that will help us in doing the same thing. Now, I'll minimize these structural members because under structural members is where we got the tool for creating the cladding rails or creating the guts. Now, the next step is connecting or creating a connection between the column and the guts or the cladding rails. So where do we get them? I'll come to purlin and guts connection. I'll click on that arrow and I'll come straight to gut connection. So if I pick on that tool, I'll be able to select the column as the main member, then pick on the guts and create a connection. So if I do that, you'll be able to see a connection has been created, but it's way off the way it should be, or it should be connected, because it is connected underneath the cladding rail. So I want to modify this. So I'll just select that connection, just pick any member, pick any member in that connection, type letter M and enter. So in here, I'm going to macro presets because I had done that the presets that suits this particular connection. So I'll just come here and click that drop down arrow, and I'll come here and pick purlin connection or clit. Any of these I think will work. I'll click load and come to apply. So if that doesn't respond, I'll pick clit 1 and click load and click apply. So that has responded. I'll come here and select on that. I'll do the same here. I'll come here, and select on that column and select on this member, then right click, and the connection has been created right there. But it's way off this, it is not in the right direction. So I'll come, select the connection or select any part of that connection, type letter M and enter on your keyboard. Then this will come up and I'll pick the appropriate connection here. I'll pick clit 1 and I'll click load and apply. So that will come up right like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clone a connection of this type everywhere. So let first of all create a connection on this side also. So I'll come back and select on this column and create a connection right there. So you can see some slight collision here. So that should not worry you. That will show you how we can modify that. You can always trim this end. You trim it here and trim this one here so that they don't collide. Now I'll select this connection. I'll select this clit and type letter M on my keyboard. Then wait for the setting dialog box to come up and pick the right connection here. I'll click load and click apply and give it an OK. So I'll apply this connection. Let me just select this connection here. As it is now, the whole of this, there's no clit connection. There's no clit connected here. So I have created this two connection, 1, 2, 3 connections, and I want to clone this. Cloning means I want to apply this connection to connection of similar type. So what I've selected on this connection, so I'll just deselect the parts I don't want to include here. And if I come to clone, IntelliClone, and click on that, I'll be able to see at least one joint has to be selected. I'll click OK. So we look for the joint. So as it is now, we can't see the joint. Let's first of all activate the joint to be visible. I'll click on joint visibility here and click on that. So the joint is talking about is this blue thing you're seeing here. This is the joint. So if I can press Control and select the joint here and come back to click clone all, I'll be able to see there are 99 unconnected joints found in the model. Would you like to connect all? I'll just go ahead and click proceed. But prior to that, make sure we save our work. First of all, click cancel and come here and save our work, because in any case, our system is not responding properly or shuts down, we'll be able to go back to where we were. Now, let me save that once again and come to clone all. So you can read the same information here. I'll come here and click proceed. So get some time to process that information. Then we'll see if all the connections have been created. So if I zoom out, you'll be able to see all the connections have been created. You can see connection has been created here. This one has been done, and this one has been done. Everything has been done. So this is the better side of Comosys. So this one has been left out because we didn't create a connection here that can be cloned and applied on similar type of connection. So let me just do one here. Let me just come here and pick on this column and pick that and right click to create a connection right there. So I'll come here and type letter M and enter on my keyboard to bring the dialog box setting the modification or dialog box for setting this particular GATT connection. So I'll come to my presets here and apply this particular one, click one. Remember this I had created by myself, and now to save on time, moving up and down to try and create to try all the measurements that fit this particular connection will waste a lot of your time. Always save this particular type of connection, so the moment you start modeling or designing, you'll be able to save a lot of time. So in this particular case, I'll just click that option, then click load the settings, and then click apply. So this will come up here. So I want to apply this particular connection to other members that have a similar member and connection type that will be required on that particular joint. So let me select this. Deselect that. Let me select that first. Then I remove the parts I don't want to be included, as long as I have the joint have been selected right there. So if I come here, let me just zoom out so that we see how this action takes place. So once I've done so, I've selected, I want to clone this particular connection to the rest of these members that have some similar type of connection needed to connect the two members. Now I'll come to IntelliClone and click on IntelliClone there, and we have 9 of them. I'll go ahead and click proceed. So if I click proceed, I'll just give some time to create connections there. So let's just give some time to create connection as we wait for the result. Let's just give it some time. There we are, and the connection has been created. You can see a connection has been created there, connection has been created there, and another one created there. But we've not seen any overlap here, but the overlap can be rectified. But just due to time, we'll just move to the next connection. So let me just walk you around here so that you see whether connections have been created. You can see this side connection has not been created. This side of the structure connections have been created. So let's add some connections, clit or cladding rail connection. I'll come back here and create one here. I'll select on that member, select on that member, select on that member, and that has been created. Let me modify that, type letter M on the keyboard here, and if I come to presets here, pick on that drop down arrow, click the type of clit you want to apply there, click load and click apply, and that has been done. So I want to apply this to the rest. Let me deselect that and deselect that. Now if I come to IntelliClone, I'll click clone that and click proceed and give it some time to process that information and apply the connection all over. Now, if I zoom out, I'll be able to see the connection has been done, and that one has been done all the way to this far end here. You can see that has been done. So that's how you can create connections in commerces. So that's how simple it is, and that's how interesting to use commerces. Now, if you come closer here, you can see under bracings here, and if you see this bracing on this side, we don't have button plates. So we can add button plates here on this side. So how do we do that? We can select the whole structure because we cannot narrow down on each and every bracing on this side, because on the left side we have the button plates already in place on the side of bracings. So let me enter on my keyboard right here, or I'll just go ahead and come to IntelliConnect. So under IntelliConnect, we have the tools available here, and we'll come to button plates. So before invoking that tool, I want just to verify that we don't have the button plates on this particular side. So we want to add for it to look like this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to invoke that command. I'll come here and click button plate. So I'll just leave it on default side. You can adjust how you want these button plates to flash with the side of this particular member, or you can just leave it. You can also adjust on how you want it to protrude outside. And let me just go ahead and click run. So if I click run, all the button plates will be fixed on the bracings. So if I click on empty screen, you can see we have button plates already in place. So this is how interesting commerces is. It's a time saver. You don't waste a lot of time running up and down, trying to search for tools, trying to do some connection manually, and takes a lot of time. Though in commerces, if you do connection manually, it's quite faster and compared to other softwares. Now, let me just turn that around, and this is how it looks. If you take a look on the top here, we have the purlins. If you take a look on the side, we have everything. So let me just deactivate the joints so that we have a cleaner look of our structure. So you can see how this looks. And I think you've grasped something on how to connect the cladding rails or the guts to the columns. So thanks a lot, and let's meet on the next presentation. Bye bye, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and let me save that.